next steps defeat you. If you ain't heard, I'm that sequel. Award-winning, magnificent, ain't no one that's my equal. Prequel, I'm the lethal, some say unbelievable. Who? Rich B's make it do what it do. Who knew? Album 2, in my mind I chose to deliver to you. On your porch, kick the box like UPS do. I ain't through with this dose of truth. One too many ain't shoot. Why would I choose to inform you? I'm letting loose 59 milli, pot of stove, I'm cooking goose. You know who it is, you know what it is. And yes, we are cooking goose tonight. Why? Because we're talking to the chat. Let's go. I want people to come into the chat right now, right? Get as many people as you know to follow and come into the chat. Because we're talking to the chat and I got a lot to say. Why? Because I was streaming at this point for the last 30 days. And just about every day. Sometimes multiple times a day. So get your people and we gonna talk about this because I really have a lot to say. We've streamed a lot. We've gotten to a lot of conversation. We've really tried to figure out ways to make this stream better. You guys have been a part of it and y'all seen some of the ups, some of the downs, some of the rights, some of the wrongs. But what I always say is there's no such thing as right or wrong. It's only what you prescribe to be what's right. So we can agree, right? But today we are talking about my 30-day anniversary of streaming. So yes, I started December 22nd, 2025, right before Christmas, and I've been doing a whole lot of streaming. So while we're doing this, I'm gonna go ahead and kick in a little bit of tunes in the background because y'all know I got my little background music sometime I'm listening to. So let's drop that. Some real chill music, but in essence, it just gives me a little bed, right? A little bed of music for me to have these conversations. And so, again, what we're talking about here is some of the challenges and some of the hang-ups, some of the things that I found. And I guess really are some of these ways that you guys, if you're not streaming yet, can you start streaming and not have to go through some of these headaches, if you will. Because on a previous stream, what did I tell you guys? I told you that if you're gonna do something, then just go ahead and jump and do it, right? It don't have to be all this and that, and it doesn't have to be the best thing ever. You don't have to have the highest quality cameras or the best switchers and all that kind of stuff. Some of that stuff might be good to have, but it's not necessarily a must-have. So that's what we're talking about, right? And I guess, do I really need to make a list? Do I need to make a list for it? I don't really think I need to make a list. I think that we should just figure out what questions that you guys have and let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about it. How many of you out there are streaming live? And if you're streaming live, are you streaming live regularly? Do you stream live consistently? Right? Some people may stream live once a week. And if you do that, that's on you. Nothing wrong with that. You can do that. It's okay. If you stream live 3 or more times a week, I really want to know from you. Why? Why are you choosing to stream that many times? Right? Because for me, if I'm streaming daily, one, for consistency, right? I'm trying to be consistent at the things that I do. Consistently working, consistently, streaming, consistently coming up with new ideas, consistently writing new songs, consistently making new music, consistently coding applications. And so consistency doesn't necessarily mean that you have to take up a whole day doing it, right? It means that moment to moment, you may have to modify what you're doing, right? That also keeps your mind fresh. But if you've seen my channel anytime, you'll notice it says Jack of all trades, master of some is way better than ones that haven't begun. What does that mean? That means that sometimes, you can do everything, but when you do everything, that means you need to master some of it, which is always better than somebody who's just thinking about it and not making any moves, right? Because if you're going to do something, it requires doing. It doesn't require sitting there on your laurels, right? Thinking, plotting, planning, but you're not executing. That's why I said, and we've had it in a previous chat, you ain't got to have all of that stuff. You ain't got to have 100% of what you want just to start, right? You have to have you got to be good enough. You got to have good enough equipment, good enough content, good enough, because you can always get better over time. You know what I'm saying? You can always get better over time. So today, like I was saying, it's more so to figure out, well, what's your holdups, right? What's your holdups? Why aren't you streaming regularly? And is it because you don't feel like there's enough time in the day? Because you working? Because you got other stuff going on? Because you're out and about? Why? You know what I'm saying? What are the reasons why you don't choose to stream regularly? Do you want to stream regularly? Because some people, they like streaming, but they're not going to stream regularly. They're not going to do it consistently. And is there anything wrong with that? I'm not saying there is. That's just what I chose to do. You know what I'm saying? And not everybody's the same. Everybody has a different point. Everybody has a different mission, right? My mission is to help y'all be better versions of yourself. And that's what we're doing on this channel, The Real Rich Bees, right? And that's another thing. So like, yes, the name, The Real Rich Bees, when I came up with that name for my channel, for my YouTube, right? For my TikTok, right? It's all The Real Rich Bees. I did that on purpose, right? Because I'm going to show the real me, right? I'm going to talk about the real me, the real things that I'm working on, the real things that I'm doing, the real things that I'm putting out in the world, right? It's not about all that other, trying to act like something you're not, trying to be something that you're not. I can only be who I am, and this is the real me. So that's why I chose to have The Real Rich Bees as my name. So for you guys, a name can mean a lot, right? And the name that you call something, it means a lot, because it starts going to the purpose. It starts going to the intent behind what you're doing it for. And that's the reason why some people change their name, right? Some people go by nicknames. Some people's nicknames are given to them, right? Because somebody else saw something in you, and that's why they gave you that nickname. Or you did something and people are like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna call him that, right? Some nicknames are a joke. Some nicknames fit you perfectly. It just depends. You know what I'm saying? It just depends. But in the meantime, I'm telling you right now, go share this with somebody else right now. Even right now, while we're streaming, go share it with somebody else. Tell them to jump on this stream, get into the chat. Let's talk about it. And if I need to, I'll open the chat totally up. You know what I'm saying? But for now, follow. Let's talk about it, right? Follow and let's talk about it. Give me a second. Yeah. All right. So that's what we're doing today, right? That's what we're doing. We're talking about that. We're talking about what it took to do it. And possibly, just possibly, I may even play some of the little shorts so that way you know that what I'm saying is what I'm doing, right? So give me a second. Let me see. Let me see if I can pull some shorts that you can hear. Ba, 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 ba. All right, here goes some shorts. All right, all these shorts come from my Instagram. Okay, all these shorts come from my Instagram. So we're gonna play. I mean, I could go to the TikTok if you really want to, if you want to get to the TikTok, but I'm gonna do it on the Instagram, okay? So that way y'all can see on the Instagram what I'm talking about. All right, here we go. All right, so boom, desktop, Instagram, right? So on the Instagram, you'll notice that we have all of these, right? All of these come off the lives that I've done over the last 30 days from here all the way through these, right? Because I wasn't making clips at first, right? I wasn't making any clips because one, I didn't know that it was possible to do it. I thought that if I did a clip, I would have to download it completely, and then I would have to put it in Final Cut, then I have to upload it and all that kind of stuff, which that is what I could do, right? That's a good to do. That's a good practice to have because then I can control some of the things that I'm putting on there. I can do more cutaways and stuff like that, and I can really start to make some real um, editing choices, if you will, right, with my reels. However, again, like I said from the beginning, because I've told you I'm doing I'm doing what I'm telling y'all about, right? Which is I just started. I just let's get it done, right? It's about getting it at least 75 to 80% there and let that bad boy fly. So what does that look like? Here it is. This was from off one of my earlier uh streams, right? And so when I put this one up, I was like, oh, well, it's not really that hard for me to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's not that hard for me to do it. So I might as well go ahead and do it this way. That way it's at least getting done, right? We can end up moving it forward and I can start, so people start knowing that I have content coming regularly on Rich Bees on Instagram, right? But I did the same thing on YouTube. I did the same thing on TikTok, right? Because it doesn't, again, it doesn't have to be fully 100%. It just has to get to 75 to 80% for us to then let it fly, let that content live. And so I did, right? So here we go. Let's play it. Let's see what it's talking about. Maybe there's some nuggets that we can get from it that you didn't hear the whole stream. The whole stream, it will be and is. Oh no, this one's not on TikTok no more. It's gone. I mean, excuse me, on Twitch anymore. It's gone. This one right here is gone. And I don't know if I downloaded it. I don't know if I saved it. I don't know if I saved it. But let's see what I did. I don't mind getting the feedback because it's all feedback. You see what I'm saying? It's all feedback. So here we go. Hold up. Can't hear it. Playing. Now these are things that I feel like, you know, if
let's
you
go back.
I need y'all
and
to
come
stop
back
putting
again
this in my
so we can get it from the
see where
beginning.
we at. I built a day-by-day build plan. Now these are things that I feel like, you know, if you're gonna use AI in your build, then use it to plan. Use it to help plan. Use it to help organize, right? Use it to help maybe if you got a piece of code you're trying to write and that one piece don't go right, or you can't figure out, you know, what the function is, or you can't figure out what the, you know, what the right way to logically solve this one piece of problem. Okay, tell it, let it build it. Once it builds it, then you take that code and you look at it and see, which parts work, what is it doing different that makes that work, and then, use it appropriately in the code if you feel. See where we at. Yeah. So you see that? Like that was something that, boom, I uploaded. It did the rest of it for itself. You know what I'm saying? I think I might have, when I uploaded it, then I came in here and I did a little bit of extra by adding video, adding music to it and stuff like this, but I don't remember if I downloaded this clip and uploaded it. Yes, I did. I think I had to. I think I did, based on this one, I think I had to download it and then upload it, and then that's how I got all this stuff on there, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to remember back because this was what, December 26th. So at this point, I had only been streaming for 4 days, right? But I wanted to get a clip up, and then that's how I ended up. Now I got, obviously, you know what I'm saying? I actually got some likes on that. I got some comments on that. How? I have no idea. I have no idea. I just did the thing, put it up there. All right, so let's move on. Let's go to the next one, which the next one you see in the background up here, right? Like you see my mouse up here. So let's go to that one. And what do we have? I need y'all to stop putting this in my chat. I'm about to lock my chat. No cap. I'm about to lock my chat. I keep putting that BS in my chat, and I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna lock my chat. It's gonna end up being where only um followers or subscribers can chat. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Keep playing. Keep playing. That's exactly what I'm gonna do, and I ain't gonna have no ill feelings about it. It's gonna be what it is. Right? Like that made me laugh. It made me laugh because I'm like, I remember what happened. What happened was somebody came in the chat, right? Somebody came in the chat and they put uh a icon of somebody's junk in the chat and kept doing it. You know what I'm saying? And this right here came from the stream that I did with TikTok, right? It was the first time that I did a dual stream, and this was a stream that I did on Twitch and TikTok at the same time, right? And so when I streamed on both those platforms at the same time, that message came from TikTok. That message came from TikTok. And so because it came from TikTok, after that stream right there, that's when I stopped dual streaming on TikTok. I was like, oh, TikTok's off the hook. TikTok's crazy. Wow. Why are the people on TikTok doing that? People on Twitch don't do that. You know what I'm saying? By this time, this was 6 days ago. You know what I'm saying? This was 6 days ago. And so I ended up stopping dual streaming on TikTok mainly because of this comment right here, because of the comment that happened during this stream right here. And if you notice, I didn't get mad about it per se. I didn't start flipping, oh, get on my cut. I was just like, yo, handle the situation, kept it mad calm, and then moved on. It was a long stream. So I streamed a lot longer. I banned the person for putting that in my chat because I don't want that type of comments in my chat. Why? Because I want to have an open forum where it could be young people that's trying to be better versions of themselves. It could be older people, and they might not like that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So in my thought process in that moment was, I'm not I'm not gonna sit here and let that go on like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna let it go on like that. So that's the reason why I had to let that bad boy up out of there. Get him up out of there. So that's that. But like I said, this was 6 days ago. So I went from doing the first one 4 days after I started, right? Let me close this. So like 4 days after I started streaming, I uploaded this one, but then this was 6 days ago. And so once I did that one, I was like, oh, you know what? I'm about to just go for it. I'm just gonna go for it. I'll at least drop one or two on here. right? On my Instagram / TikTok / YouTube. And that's how it went, right? And so let's watch the next one. Here's the next one. The goal is to keep stacking up wins. You know what I'm saying? We get past the losses, we get past the things that we think are negatives, and then we realize what the wins are. Now, I will say this though, because I don't think y'all even realize that a lot of times your losses can actually even be wins. Right? How is that, you say? Is that what I heard? Did you say that? How your losses wins? Because you learned something. Yes, you are a winner. Yes, you are a winner. That was somebody in my comment. But even your losses can be wins because you learned something, and that helps you from losing again, right? Because if you don't learn from your loss, you'll end up losing again. It's a circular thing. It goes around and round and round. The goal, facts. So that's the reason, right? Like, even in the fact of that previous one, right? The previous one that I released talking about the chat thing, yes, I could take that as a loss because, you know, somebody came in the chat acting crazy, right? I could take that as a loss, but I didn't take it as a loss. What I took it as was maybe I need to reassess, right? I need to reassess where I'm actually streaming to, right? Where am I doing the thing that I want to do? Because sometimes you could be doing the right thing, it's just in the wrong place, right? It's in the wrong environment. So you have to watch that, because you could be the best version of yourself doing the best thing possible, but yet you're in the wrong environment. And if you're in the wrong environment, you won't be received well, right? That doesn't mean that you need to reassess what you're doing. Maybe, and sometimes it does. But most of the time, it just might not be the place for you, right? You might not be in the right room. Okay. So think about it. He may go in other people's chat and they give him a laugh. People all excited. They like, you see that? Oh, you see it? You see the comment? You know what I'm saying? He might go in there and the streamer's like, oh, bro, that's funny. You know what I'm saying? How'd you make that? Ooh, show me how to make that. But when he came in my room, right? Because it's my room, my channel, that he's in the wrong room, right? He's in the wrong room, which made me assess, well, am I in the wrong place? And once I realized that, you know what, it doesn't hurt me that he's doing there because I can stream some other place. So that's what I did. I reassessed, moved on, went and started doing another place. So it wasn't a loss because I'm not streaming live on TikTok. It was a gain because then I started finding the fact of what YouTube can actually do, right? So after this, then I kept going, but I stopped streaming on 2 platforms, which this one wasn't on 2 platforms. This one was on one platform, which was Twitch. And so let's keep on going. Here's the next one. Like I said, this is takeaways. This is just takeaways, right? This is takeaways in context from the last 30 days of streaming live. That's all I'm doing, giving the takeaways of what happened. Right now, I will say this though. Let's back up a little bit. I will say this because prior to this, if you remember, we just said that, and I'm gonna go back out of here, that this was 4 days after I started, right? This one right here. This one was 6 days ago, right? I still hadn't streamed on YouTube yet. Okay, I still hadn't streamed on YouTube yet. But in between these, I had to find what my thing was, right? You saw what I dropped when I started talking about AI. That was a casual conversation that we were having live on stream, talking about AI. Well, I was talking about coding, but we started talking about AI, right? So we were talking about coding in that video, but I started talking about AI because I wanted to let the chat know what AI what I feel like AI is good for versus how other people are starting to use it, especially in the form of vibe coding and stuff like that. Right now, what you don't know is after I finish this project I have that I'm working on right now for a client, I'm gonna do a project. Excuse me, I'm gonna do a live stream where we're gonna vibe code, and that way y'all can watch me vibe code and figure out it is it possible to do what I was talking about on that stream. I wish I still had the stream so that way y'all can watch the whole thing and understand what I'm saying. But I think that clip still sums it up enough that you get my stance on it in that moment and currently, because I haven't tried to vibe code using AI. Okay. So, disclaimer. Now, let's go back because in between that stream of AI, or excuse me, coding and talking about AI, and this stream over here, right here, where I was talking about what happened in the chat when I was dual streaming on TikTok, I was trying to figure out, well, what my path was. How was streaming gonna work for me? What way did I want to deliver the content? Because I had an idea of how I wanted to do it, but was the way that I was doing it going to be received well, right? And so one of the things that I was doing during that time was not reaction videos, but more so watching a show while I was coding, right? So I'm watching a show, the audience or the viewer, the people who are or listening, watching my video is watching the show, but they also hear me talking to myself out loud as I'm trying to figure out how to code and where I'm at in coding. That was interesting, but it didn't necessarily do well. You know what I'm saying? I started realizing like, and not that it won't do well, it's just the fact that you start getting into copyright issues, possibly, not saying it was, but you could, or I could. And then also whether or not the audience even can keep up with what's going on if they can't go back and watch the other episodes, right? Because if I'm watching a series, then you come in on episode 3, episode 6. How do you know what's going on, right? So now I'm isolating the new viewers, and the old viewers they can keep up, but the new viewers can't. So I had to deal with that, which is the reason why I was like, okay, maybe that might not be good. Because the whole point is, after I stream, I'm gonna look at it, right? I'm gonna look at it, I'm gonna review it, I'm gonna think about, well, what did I do? You know, what could I have done better? Is there a way that I could do this and really get more out of it? Or is there something else I may need to do? Does that make sense? So that's what I did in between these two streams. That took some time to do because this is stream 4. This is 6 days ago. So 6 days ago from 4, that means that's probably like 10 days in between that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even 15 days in between that. So that's me learning, right? Taking inventory, looking at the situation, what was working, what wasn't working, what was the days that I had more people come on and follow, what days that people didn't, right? And trying to figure out a pattern, even though it's mad early. It's probably too early to really figure out a pattern, but that just led me more down a certain type of path. Okay. So then I get into the next one where I started talking about what did I say on this one? The goal is to keep stacking up wins, right? Can losses still, you know what I'm saying? We get past the losses. And so in that one, I'm sitting here trying to figure out, well, okay, what's a win? What's a loss? Trying to figure out, you have the little wins and trying to learn from the losses so the losses aren't necessarily taken as losses. They can still be used as wins. Does that make sense? That was a mouthful, but it should make sense. And so if not, you can go and listen to this whole video. I think I have this whole one on the YouTube. I think. Let me see. Let's go to the YouTube. Let's go to my channel. Let's go to my channel and see what's going on. Can losses be wins? Do I have a video attached to that? The goal is to keep stacking up wins. You know what I'm saying? You get past the losses. Maybe I don't. You get past the things that we think are negative. Yeah, maybe I don't have a video attached to can losses be wins? Stacking purpose. Okay. Yeah, maybe I don't have a video that's attached to that one, which I think is this one. Is that right? Let me see. Yeah. So you see, a lot of times how you'll be able to find my videos, if you've seen the short, then look at what I got on. You know what I'm saying? Look at what I got on. Because I don't normally wear the same thing back to back. And if I do, it's in the same video. You know what I'm saying? Like, so those are the same video. This is a different outfit, even though it might look the same. Look at the shoulders, it's not the same, right? So this is a different video. Matter of fact, this is today. This is earlier today. These are the same video, right? But if you look at earlier today, I don't have on a hat. I got on a hat now, even though I got on the same sweater, right? So for me, I'm trying to also look at, well, how do people keep up with it without me having to do the other thing, which is create thumbnails that are different, right? How can I do it and not have to do all of that work right now because I'm not prepared to do all of that now, right? So I have to be mindful on how I'm moving, how I'm making this work to make it work. Okay. This was planning on the fly, but also because I work in production and I understand what that looks like, I knew to make sure that I'm separating out outfits that are similar. So let's say I did, like I did this outfit here. I'm not gonna wear that same outfit like, a week later. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna wear this same outfit again, a week later or whatever. Like, no, it's gotta be a different one. These were the same video, so they're two clips from the same video, right? But again, whatever's over there is over here, right? Now, I don't know why it put it in this order because this order ain't the same. But if you notice, look at this one right here. This is the one I just showed you when we were talking about the whole can losses be wins. This one right here got 341 views. So what does that tell me? Right? Now again, we're just learning here. We're learning. We're learning because we're growing and we're trying to make sure that we're taking and assessing the things that are happening. So just because I didn't get a lot of views, it doesn't mean that I can't learn from them and grow, right? So if this got 300 something views on YouTube, I can't necessarily see what the view count is on here because I'd have to click it, go into the analytics. That's too many steps. Anybody worry about that right now. But what I am saying is these are actually in date order though. This is actually in time order. So this happened, then that happened, then this happened, right? And then this happened. So let's move on to the next video, right? We're learning, we're growing, we're figuring out, and we're gonna move on. I'm just explaining to you what happened over the last 30 days and how we ended up on Twitch with 24 followers and on which is one shy of hitting the affiliate mark, but also it's also a high mark over the short amount of time that I've been streaming, right? In 30 days. Point is that the next goal that I have is on the bottom of my videos always, right? So if you look at the bottom of my video right down here, right, see that right there? That'll tell you where the current goal is. The current goal we need to get to is 30 followers on Twitch. So if you know somebody that, wants to be better, do better, see more um, um, positive things happening in their life, tell them to come to my channel, either on YouTube or on TikTok, on Twitch. But if you come into Twitch, make sure you follow. If you come into YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. All right. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Come follow your man's Rich Bees, the real Rich Bees. All right. So here we go. Here's the next video. The next video I did 5 days ago. A lot of people don't understand this concept because they feel like everybody needs to be able to go with them. Everybody can't go with you on your journey. Sometimes you have to go it alone, right? But what you realize is when you go it alone, that after a little bit, you're not alone anymore. Because more people who have a like mind of you, who wants to achieve the same type of things you want to achieve, will start to go in the same direction as you. They'll come aboard, they'll hear your vision, believe in the vision, and walk with you. That's what it's all about. That's literally how life works. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand this concept because they feel like everybody needs to be able to go with them. Now, here's another thing. This is something that I know because I deal in production, but this is something I know because I've seen it done and it also worked. It worked for me. And so this might work for you. But again, this is something I've learned, but I also figured out how to cut my clips. Let's talk about it. So, and I told y'all earlier, if you watched my stream earlier, which is still live, it's still live. If you go to YouTube, you'll be able to watch the whole thing. If you go to Twitch, you'll be able to watch the whole thing also. But because my allergies are tripping because I think I'm eating too much wheat. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. What we're talking about now is how I'm cutting up these clips. If you noticed, by now I've played 1, 2, 3, and this is the fourth one, right? This is the fourth one. If you noticed, all of these clips, I'm about to call them clips. All of these clips are loopable, right? Loopable. I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm gonna make it a word. I'm coining that word right now. We're gonna call it loopable. Remember that word, and remember who said it first. You heard it right here. The Real Rich Bees channel. Rich Bees said it. Loopable. Now, all my clips are loopable. What does that mean? That means that when you play it and you get to the end, when it loops back, it still makes sense. It makes sense in continuation as if I'm saying it again. It's loopable, right? Now, that's not because when I'm saying what I'm saying it to get loopable clips. I'm saying what I'm saying because what I'm saying means something. So if you watch the video, it'll keep going. It'll mean something. It'll mean more than what you got out of the clip. However, when you're playing it through a reel or something that loops like that, right? Clip. What happens is when people watch your video more than once in a row, you get pushed higher, right? You get pushed higher. And so that's what you want. You want people to have to play it at least twice, right? If you can get them up to 3 times, you're doing very well. And that's off per stream, right? So if you can get one person to try to get the concept, but you've looped it a couple times where it feels like you're continuing on what you're saying, you'll get more playtime, right? More playtime off the same exact 1-minute video clip, okay? Let's play it again and you can see it in action. Listen to what it says. Listen to how I'm saying it and listen how it comes back around. All right, here we go. Let me go back and then I'm gonna come back to it. The goal is to keep stacking up wins. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand this concept because they feel like everybody needs to be able to go with them. Everybody can't go with you on your journey. Sometimes you have to go it alone, right? But what you realize is when you go it alone, that after a little bit, you're not alone anymore. Because more people who have a like mind of you, who wants to achieve the same type of things you want to achieve, will start to go in the same direction as you. They'll come aboard, they'll hear your vision, believe in the vision, and walk with you. That's what it's all about. That's literally how life works. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand this concept because they feel like everybody needs to be able to go with them. Everybody can't go with you on your journey. Did you see that? Did I know you saw the flick of my head. However, but did you hear the dialogue? Because a lot of people are listening. So when they're listening to these clips, they're listening to what's happening. As you're listening to what's happening and that bad boy cycles back around, it's like, and a lot of people don't understand this concept. You just explain part of the concept right? You've already explained it once, but then when it comes back around and it says, but a lot of people don't understand this concept, and it plays again, you're like, oh, you might not even, a viewer might not even realize that they've played it twice because of how it loops. They don't know if that's a cut and you're going to continue on with a different type of point, or you're going to expound upon it more. They don't know, so they're going to watch it more than once. And then when they realize that it went back and then they think they're hearing what they thought they heard before, they'll end up playing it one more time because they'll be like, okay, that's where it ended. Right? Do you see that? If it, I'm telling you, it works. So let's move on, because that was a concept that I really kind of tied in there, and I got how it worked. I don't remember. The other ones I think might have did the same thing. Let's watch one of the previous one to see if it did that. So let's go back one just to see if it did that same thing, because I learned that concept, how I can make it work for me. Okay. And I had to find the points in what I'm saying when I go to make these clips for it to make sense like that. Okay. So let's go back to the previous one and let's see if it followed that same type of thought process. Here we go. The goal is to keep stacking up wins. You know what I'm saying? We get past the losses, we get past the things that we think are negatives, and then we realize what the wins are. Now, I will say this though, because I don't think y'all even realize that a lot of times your losses can actually even be wins. Right? How is that, you say? Is that what I heard? Did you say that? How your losses wins? Because you learned something. Yes, you are a winner. Yes, you are a winner. But even your losses can be wins because you learned something, and that helps you from losing again, right? Because if you don't learn from your loss, you'll end up losing again. It's a circular thing. It goes around and round and round. The goal is to keep stacking up wins. You know what I'm saying? We get past the losses, we get past the things that we think are negatives, and then we realize what the wins are. Now, I will say this though, because I don't think y'all even realize that a lot of times, did you see it? You realize, right? You see what happened? Like, it looped back around, but it still made sense for what I said to start to be where I went back to, as if I was starting again or saying something different. You know what I'm saying? Like I was going into the next point. It's a very, you have to do that consciously because you don't stumble upon that. Like a lot of times it's not a stumble thing. You have to listen to what you're saying and see if that makes sense to rap, right? To loop. And that's what you want. You want clips that are loopable. See what I'm saying? Loopable. So let's keep going. Let's go back to this one. We saw that one, right? Because this is where we started really getting deep into the loopable type of content. And let's see where we went from there, right? Let's see. From there, we went to this one right here with the Padres hoodie on. And this one only got one like. I don't know how many people viewed it because I don't really go back and look at it. I might check it maybe like, you know, once every 2 weeks or something like that. But it's not even like I'm going to check it. I just might pop over because I'm looking for something else, or I'll just drop the video. And so when I'm there, I may see it, but it's not like I'm gonna spend a lot of time trying to figure out, well, did it do well? Right? Because I don't really, not that I don't care if it did well, it's that my goal is to make content, not to chase analytics. Y'all get it? I don't think some of y'all get it. It's not to chase analytics, it's to create content. That's my goal. Matter of fact, let's change scenes. Let me go right here. Listen, it's not about chasing analytics. It's about creating good content. That's it. Point blank. Because if you create good content, the views, the analytics will come around. It will. It has to. It has to. It's not going to not produce views, likes, subscriptions, and follows if you are creating good content. People will find you. Even if you don't market yourself, people will still find you. It might take a little bit longer, but they'll find you. Good content will get shared. Good content will get people talking. Good content will grow a community. That's a fact. So make sure that you're not chasing analytics, but that you're creating good content. All right, back at it. So the next video we did was this live, and let's see what we were talking about, because I don't remember. So let's see. That idea you have is stupid. It ain't gonna work. And there may be people that say that to you. But because the world has so many people in it, it might be stupid to them. But you might can find you about 1 million people who agree that that's a good idea. Out of 8 billion people, you might be able to find you a good 100,000 people who would think that that's a good idea. 100,000 people on an idea can change your life. Facts. 100,000 people believing in your idea can change your life. And really and truly, it. I'm not saying it's simple, but it is. Because the whole key is to stick to it. Right? If you believe in it, if you think that idea you have is stupid, it ain't gonna work. And there, yeah. Now that content right there was meant to loop. It was meant to loop. When I did it, it had a point that I was trying to loop it at, and I did loop it there. But when it not uploaded, when it got shared from Twitch over to Instagram, it added on like a half a second. And when it did, that's why it doesn't loop right. And I don't know how it added that half a second, but that was a learning point for me to know that I need to tighten up where I put the end at. Because if I ran into the next part of my statement with when I cut the clip, like if it if I didn't give enough space after I said what I said, then whenever I would try to make it cut there, it was hard on there to try to get it right in between that word. It wouldn't be so hard if I did it like in Final Cut or some kind of editing software. But when you're doing it in the browser, cutting clips, you got to get it, you got to lead it, in a little bit more, a little bit tighter, because it might not be exact when you go to hit the export button. That was learned lesson. I'm kind of mad that it didn't loop right though, because it didn't loop right. I think that played into the fact why I didn't do so good, because the whole thing that I said I thought was really good. You know what I'm saying? But if you notice, it didn't perform the same, right? It didn't perform the same. And the thing about it is, as soon as I played it back and I heard how it made the clip, I figured off the gate it wasn't going to perform well. But I'm not about that, right? I'm not about the analytics. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the content and how that content creates a disconnect. Because it wasn't loopable, it created a disconnect. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to tell you. These are things that when you're live streaming every day for 30 days, you start to figure these things out. Okay? So that was that. Now this came from the same video as the next clip, right? In this video, we talked about sticking to it, right? See the idea through. Now let's move on to the next one and see how that one played out. And so what I'm saying is, You can have a great idea, but if it's before it's time, you might have to wait, or you might have to help to do another thing to get that thing to be time. Meaning, if you have back to electric cars, if the problem for you to create electric cars was the battery density, meaning the battery won't hold charge long enough, or the battery won't dispense the charge fast enough to get the right acceleration on the motor, or there's not a motor that is reliable enough to be a car motor. Like, you see what I'm saying? All of those things matter for you to have a reliable car that's able to be or compete on the stage of ICE cars, right? Internal combustion engine cars. And so what I'm saying is, you can have a great idea, but if it's before it's time, you might have to wait, or you might have to help to do another thing to get that thing to be time. Meaning, if you have see, you saw that loop, right? I learned from my mistakes how that other one got cut, and that way this one was clean. When it finished, it looped back seamlessly. Seamlessly. You didn't even realize how seamless that was. When that bad boy cut back, it cut back, kept the thought going, didn't miss a beat. Didn't miss a beat. Did it perform better? If we want to look at analytics, obviously it performed better, right? Let's go to YouTube. Let's see. Because this is the two Padre videos back to back. Padre one of them. Padre one of them. Told you. Do y'all see that? Can you see that? I don't know if you can even see it that well. Hold on. Let me see if you can see it better. Let me see if you can see it better. Hold on. Let me see. All right, here we go. All right, can you see it? This is better, right? That Padres video is 15. This Padre video is 199, right? But look at this. Let's figure out which one is which, because at this point, I don't think they have the same. This one has my mouth open crazy. This one has my mouth open wide. So here we go. Let's look at Instagram. These don't have the same pictures. So we're not gonna be able to tell from that. I'm gonna have to play it to figure out, or at least click it to figure out which one it is. So this one is an idea can be before its time. This is the one I said looped good. This one looped good, okay? So this is it. An idea, a great idea can be before its time. We're gonna see what that is on YouTube. Let's see which one this is, because this is the 199 one. That idea you have is stupid. It ain't gonna work. And there may be people that say that to you. Oh. But because the world has so many people in it, it might be stupid to them. But you might can find you about 1 million people who agree that that's a good idea. Oh. I just learned something new. What y'all learn? Did y'all learn something? I did. Sips tea. I know y'all thinking, what'd you learn? What'd you learn? What'd you see? What'd you see? Let me tell you what I just saw. The fact that on YouTube, right? On YouTube, if you notice, this is the video that is this video, right? That idea you have is stupid. Boom. That video did not play well on Instagram, right? I started off with that idea you have is stupid. That video did not play well on Instagram. However, that played well on YouTube. Crazy work. Crazy work, because that means that the loop didn't actually matter to how many views I got in this video, but it caught people's attention on YouTube because I said that idea you have is stupid. In no other video do I start a video that way. And when I'm cutting clips, I'm also thinking about that. I'm thinking about, well, is this different than the rest of the videos in my approach and how I bring the topic up? right? And that's not how I brought the topic up in the whole video, but that's the clip I chose to use because that started off with a question, and it was a serious question, but the question was done in a way that makes it feel like, you talking to me? My idea stupid? Hold on, bro. You don't know me, right? Like, you don't know me to tell me my idea stupid. But that plays well on YouTube, so I find out. But that doesn't mean that that plays well on Instagram, which we're seeing that it didn't. It didn't play as well. Well, maybe it did. Let's see. Is this the one? Is this the same one? Yep, this is the same one. Let's see what the insights look like. We're just gonna go ahead and figure it out. Is it gonna come up? Boom. 131. Right? 132 views. And then the other one, it would have been this one. This one looked like it played well. There was 132 on the other one. This one is 158. So the loop back, I believe that the loop back on Instagram plays better than YouTube. Let's go back to YouTube. Let's see something. Oh, y'all can't even see it. Hold on. All right. So, because what I'm saying is I think the loop back plays better on YouTube. On Instagram than it does on YouTube. So if I play a video on YouTube, let's go back. Let's see if we can make it go back to the beginning. All right. So let's go back to the beginning. We're going to play this video again, but this time when we play, we're going to go ahead and let it play all the way through because we want to see how it loops back. Matter of fact, I don't have to play it all the way through. We can start toward the end. Let's play it and see how it loops back. I'm not saying it's simple, but it is, because the whole key is to stick to it, right? If you believe in it, if you think that idea you have is stupid, it ain't gonna work. So it loops back, and it loops back the way it was, the way we didn't like it to loop back. But I think normally on YouTube, when you watch a short, at the end of that short, it doesn't loop. I think it just flows on to the next one. That's what I think normally happens on YouTube. I could be wrong, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's how it works on YouTube. Like when you're on your phone and you swipe up, right? You swipe up, you get to your next video. As soon as you get to the end, it automatically shoots you to the next one without you having to swipe. I think that's how it works if you watch the full video. So, with that being said, that might be why that one played well. And if this one, the next one played right after it on YouTube, it didn't get any love. It didn't get any love because people thought they were seeing the same video again. That's what I think. But again, we're learning. So it's not that I know I have all the answers. I don't have all the answers, Sway. I don't have all the answers, Sway. But what I do have is examples of ways that things seem to be working based on what the content that I've already uploaded on there. Okay. So now we're going to move to the next video. The next video that got uploaded was these, right? These two. So let's see what these are talking about. Because why this one, matter of fact, this video right here didn't even want to upload. It was giving me so many problems. It was giving me problems on every platform. No, on YouTube and Instagram. On YouTube and Instagram, it didn't show after I did it, after I uploaded it. TikTok, it showed immediately. But on YouTube and Instagram, it didn't. So I had to go back and try to upload it again, separate from the actual original video. But let's look at the first one. Here's the first one. Because actually, I released this one first. I put this one up first, but it never uploaded, which is why I had to do it again after I had already did the second one. But let's go in order that people would have saw it. So here's the first. That is the key to me of what success looks like, right? Success looks like constant forward progression towards any goal that you may have, and you might have multiple, because earlier on we had a stream that we talked about goals, right? I set my goals. As I was doing that, I was telling you about setting your goals. That was something that we had a whole long stream about it. You remember? If you didn't remember, if you didn't see it, head over to Twitch. However, it might be gone now because Twitch is really no good at holding content for the long term for the go back and review. However, I'm saying that to say you have to have your goals, because if you don't have a goal, then how do you know if you're progressing toward it? All of this goes together. If you're going to be the best version of yourself, then you have to realize that everything that you do goes together. That is the key to me of what success looks like, right? Success looks like constant forward progression. See, it looped back and it gave it to you again, but it gave it to you and again in a way that you would be more apt to watch it again. Because that's what, to me, that's what success looks like, right? It all goes together. That's what constant success looks like. It fits the loop. Okay. So let's go to the next one, because this is the one that didn't upload right, but we're gonna actually check the stats on this one because we're 30 days in. We're gonna check and see how it actually performed, right? That was 2 days ago. This next one is still 2 days ago. Everything in your life leads you to progression if you can stack the things on top of itself. Everything you've learned as a child, everything you learned as a teenager, everything you learned as a young adult, stack those things, and then you can go toward your purpose and be productive in life, right? You can progress forward consistently. Why? Because you're building on top of what you already have learned and what you've already known to be true. Okay? So if everything in your life leads you, did y'all see that? That was the same thing. It happened again, right? It happened again. That one didn't loop back. It didn't loop back correctly. And that was probably one of the driving factors that made it not necessarily perform well. But let's click on insights on this one because we want to see what happened. 34 views, right? 34 views. Not that great. Not that great. 34 views, not that great. It didn't get up like the other ones did, and so I think it has something to do with it tried to upload the first time. It didn't act like it wanted to upload. It probably did upload, right? It probably did upload actually, but I couldn't see it. And so because I didn't see it, I ended up re-uploading and then deleting the one that probably got uploaded. And that might be ended up how this one only has a short amount of, a low amount of views. I don't know, but I tell you what I do know. What I know is now I'm going to share this. All right. Oh, shoot. I forgot it didn't do it like that. Yeah, Instagram be tripping out. Like, even though, like, why doesn't it automatically share to I'm trying to share this clip to my Facebook. Let me see something. Yeah, because I don't like how these things are sharing to Facebook, to be honest. I'm so not a fan of how they're going to Facebook. Give me 1 second, y'all. 1 second. I want to see how this will perform, or not how it perform, but I'm just going to go ahead and put it on Facebook, see what happens. Yeah, we'll let it fly. Right? We'll let it fly. We'll see if it does anything. That clip sounds like it might be able to do something on Facebook, and so we'll see. Right? We'll see how it performs on there. Yeah, so let's let that go. Next, let's go back. Let me get back to the screen. So okay, so next we're gonna go in. We're gonna watch the next one, right? We're gonna watch the next one. You know what? I'm gonna have to go back and play it again. But let's see what this one's talking about. This is the struggle of a creative. Now, I know for sure when I wrote this title that it was going to perform well, but that's because I know the content is going to be something a lot of people are looking at. A lot of people are creatives out there. And so when I did it in a way to make sure that I hit the audience that I need to hit, which is the audience that are creatives, because I too am a creative, right? Remember I said, when I worry about the analytics, we'll worry about the content. Content means creation. So we need to create more content consistently, which then will automatically get us to the analytics we want, right? But we're not chasing analytics, we're chasing good content, right? We're providing good content based on what our channel is about. You know what I'm saying? Remember, we're reviewing the last 30 days. We're celebrating our wins and we're learning from our losses. That's what we're doing right now. So let me go. I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna come right back so that way we can actually listen to it. Everything in your life. I too am a creative, right? And that is something that, of course, I struggle with too. Everybody wants their idea, their project to be dope. Everybody wants their thing to, you know, be super fire. Nobody can touch it. Every time, people see this, like, they're like, oh, it's so amazing. Oh, it's so wow, 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 wow. But even though that might be true, I think the biggest thing is that you have to know when it's good enough that you could put it out. I too am a creative, right? And that is something that, of course, I struggle with too. Everybody wants mm-hmm, loop back. It didn't necessarily loop back as clean because I should have started off with, because I too am a creative. That's where I should have started this, but I ended up starting it a little bit later to I too am a creative. But I should have started off with because I too am a creative. If I would have did that, then it would have looped back a little bit cleaner. But it still did well because of the creative aspect of it. And I already know that this video performed well. Like, I just already know that. I don't even have to look to know that it did because it's talking about a creative and the fact of, the struggle that creatives go through, right? So it should have connected with a lot of audience. But we'll look. Let's look. Let's see what the insights say. So we click on the
I
insights.
too am a creative, right?
Oh shoot,
And
that only
that
did
is something
55
that,
on Instagram?
of course,
That's wild work. That's wild work because I know it did better on TikTok. Like that one did very well on TikTok. Let me see if I can get to, let's back up. Back up, come on. Back up. It's the black video. Okay, so boom. See? Oh, y'all can't see that. Hold on. So on YouTube, that did 125 views, right? Like almost all my views except for this one and this one on here put up close like 100 or better. 100 or better? 100 better you do? Ooh, Brooklyn, stop! Y'all remember that? But yeah, so it did 125 views on YouTube, and I think it did more than that on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that I know the content will work, but depending on the environment, depending on where you're playing, depending on what sandbox you're putting it in, is going to depend on how it's received. That's what I'm trying to get across, right? So, yeah, as a matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna say that again. Depending upon the content, depending on what sandbox you're playing in, depending on the environments in which you're releasing the content, that's gonna play into whether or not it's well received, right? Say that. Know that. Remember that. So just because something's super fire dope, it just might be the place that you put it in is the reason why it's not doing well. Okay, so know that. All right, let's go back. So we did that like a day ago. This one is today. So let's see what we did today. Again, this is earlier today, so we don't know what it did. We don't know what it's looking like. We're not even, again, worried about the analytics. We're just more so reviewing this because at this moment, we are reviewing what we did over the last 30 days. So let's see. Oh, I don't know if y'all can even hear that. So let's go back. Let's go back to watching. Let's back up and come back to it so we can get to the beginning. I too am a creative. So here we go. Don't let the outside environment control how you do you. So if you're a nice person and you like to look out for people and you like to make sure that people get the best things when dealing with you, right? They have the best experience when dealing with you, then you have to be prepared for the storms, and you have to know that that storm is not going to take you out, even though it may be going all around you and it's just going wild and you got all kinds of stuff happening. That still doesn't mean that you have to follow suit with what's going on around you, right? And that's a knowing, and a lot of times that's knowing that you're prepared, right? And if you're not prepared, you still know that this is not going to be always. Don't let the outside environment control how you do, right? So that's what that did. Let's see what the don't let insights are. The outside it got environment 15 views. Control. Like I said, this how happened you today. Do you? And so if you're, we know that on Instagram it got 15 views. Let's look on Facebook for that same video. Hold up. Where is it at? What did I have on? I had on this. Oh, I don't even see it. That's wild work. Let's go to my channel. Let's see if we can, because it still should come up. Boom, there it is. And it says it only did 2 views. Only 2 views. Wow work, y'all. Wow work, y'all. But you can see some of the other ones, right? But this one, why did it do that? Don't on let here the outside environment control how you do you. But you see how it's linked over here. So if you're a nice person over here like and watch the whole thing, and you like to make sure that people get that's one thing that I learned too. Things when so let's talk about that, because this one didn't do what I thought it was supposed to do. I haven't looked on TikTok, so I don't know what it did on TikTok. We know on Instagram it didn't do that well either. But also this was something that just got dropped. Okay. So it hasn't even been up to 24 hours, even though almost every other video would have already been up to at least 50 to 60, within a couple hours after I streamed it. That's how it was going with all the other videos. So I don't know what made this one not necessarily catch, unless it's because the people who are following right now are getting prepared for the weather that's to come, which could be the case. So it doesn't mean that they won't see it, because they might end up seeing it over the next couple of days when they're at home stuck, right? They're in the weather is going on outside and they're watching stuff on social media. It might get found. So it's all about still good content, right? Keep putting up good content. You let it do what it do. You check on it every now and then. Remember what happened, learn from it, grow, do something new, do something better. Okay. Now, one thing that I learned, and I learned this a couple videos ago. So let me back up. Right. I too am a this one, boom. Well, that is the key. I think I learned it at this point of what success looks like, right? Right. And success busy looks versus like progress, constant forward progression. Because this live stream is the first time you may have, and that you might have multiple on. Because earlier on, let me pause it. This is the first time that I streamed on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. Right. I live streamed on YouTube and Twitch when I did this video, and that was the first time I did that. So once I did YouTube and Twitch that day, I realized how easy it was for me to start doing things like this, which is linking the video to the short, right? I'm making the short in TikTok. In Twitch. I don't know why I keep wanting to say TikTok. I'm making the short in Twitch because it's easier to make a clip there. I can clip something. I know how it's going to work. And I know when I share it, I can automatically get it to TikTok, Twitch. It'll be on TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram. TikTok, Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube. And it all comes up perfectly like this, right? It comes up perfectly the same way I cut it. It's the same way it shows up, and it's still clean. It still looks high res. But if I did it from YouTube and I go to share it over to one of those, it won't look the same high res, is what I found out. But that was something, like I said, that's something that I learned. I did it and realized it didn't look good, or it wasn't easy to share. Don't want to do that again, right? You figure out the plan, you figure out the method in which it works. So on this one, that's what I figured out. And once I uploaded over here and I realized that now that I have the video double stream, right? Like I dual streamed YouTube and Twitch. Once I did that, I realized that now once I share it over here, because I dual stream, this is live here, right? This whole video, the whole time that I streamed, is live here. And so if it's live here, then that means that I can link it to the short. Where did it come from? Right? So this video came from this short came from this long form video. So now you can click the long form video, right? Because I had to come over here and connect it to the long form video. Once I like the video, okay, let's say this way. All right, so let's walk this out. What I found was that if I share the video from Twitch to YouTube, the video, the clip, if I share the clip from Twitch to YouTube, it still comes up clean, meaning the video looks crispy. Okay, crispy means the edges, it still looks high res. That now that I share it to YouTube, now I have to go into YouTube, go into the settings of this video, this particular clip, which on YouTube is now called a short, right? So I shared it onto YouTube from Twitch. It's now a short. I took that short, went into the settings of that short on YouTube, connected the video that it came off because I streamed live. The live stream was already on YouTube waiting, right? So I can select that in the clip settings, which then links that video to that clip. So now when somebody watches it, if they like if they like the clip and they want to hear the whole thing, then they can immediately just click on this right here, right? On the iPad, I know this because I've seen other people do it, but I didn't realize this was something that is controllable. But I can swipe on my iPad and then I'm at the full video. It immediately takes me to the full video if I swipe over from a short. If I swipe up, I go to the next short. But if I swipe over, I can go to the full clip, the full video of where that clip came from, right? So on the web, I guess now that I know, it comes up with this link to it with the play button next to it, okay? So now if I do that, let's go back. You see it down here. Let me give you a closer look. If you see it here, right, then that right there, you're gonna link me to the full video, which means that I can click this, and now I got the whole hour 55 video. If you ain't heard of that, award-winning, magnificent, ain't no one that's my equal. Prequel, I'm the lethal, some say unbelievable. Right? But now, if you notice, we got the whole video here. Right? Everything that I talked about on this video is now here. The story that I just told. At each point that we encountered a challenge, we didn't get just busy. We took a second to figure out, well, what's the next thing that I can do to continue progressing? See? Now that's fire, right? That's fire. You gotta know. You gotta know that that's fire. Which is the reason why I'm saying, like, you have to find the way that it works for you. And then that's how you can bring success to your live, to your channel, or whatever. It's all about finding the rhythm, right? Find the rhythm, finding the flow of what works for you and gives you the type of quality for the content, for the place that you want to put it. That's all it is. If you want to only use Instagram, like Instagram's your place, you already have audience over there and you want your content to come over there and perform well and all that kind of stuff, then as you're editing or cutting up those clips in Twitch, then you have to cut for where you're putting it. You know what I'm saying? You have to cut for where you're putting it. Make content that's applicable for that platform. Now, some people might not want to do it this way. Again, I'm doing it this way because it makes it easier for me, because I have other work to do. I have other businesses to run. I'm doing this because this is an outlet. One, two, it's a form of showing love to the creative community, because I'm helping people with the issues that that can be problems for creatives, which is, goal setting, which is consistency, which is jumping on and just getting stuff done, right? Instead of procrastinating, not being accountable, you know what I'm saying? Steering people wrong because they're just, they don't necessarily, you don't even know what you want to do, so how can you help somebody else know what they want to do type thing? That's not how I run. You know what I'm saying? I know what I want to do. I know what my goal is. I know what my plan is, which means that I can speak to that and help other people to reach theirs because I know what mine is. Right? Now, am I at my goal? No, because every time you get close to a goal, you're going to set it back further. Right? Because you're going to achieve that one. You already know you're going to achieve it because you're already close, right? Because you've already worked to get to that goal. So once you see it, it's in eyesight. I know it's right here. Now I can move that goal back a little bit more because I'm going to hit this one. I'm already right there. I'm going to keep going because I need the goal now to be a little bit more, right? And so as I'm achieving these milestones, I keep pushing the goal back further, right? And it's not because I'm not going to celebrate me achieving the goal that I had, but it's me already pre-preparing for the next goal, right? So as I'm approaching that one, I'm saying, here's my next goal. Yay, I'm where I need to be. Now let's get to work. You know what I'm saying? That's how I operate, and it makes me continuously push. Push. I got a song called Never Enough. Right? Sometimes I feel I'm never enough. Matter of fact, you know what? I should play that song for y'all. Is there a way I can play that song today? Let me see. I think there might be a way I can play the song. Give me a second. Let me see if I can play that song. Yeah, let me see if I can play that song. I think I might be able to play that song for y'all. Here, like I said, the name of the song is called Never Enough. And it's unpublished, so it ain't came out yet. And I don't know necessarily if I'm gonna release it, but what I do know is that this song is one of those songs that I made because I was trying to get across a thought process that is real frustrating for a lot of people. And so when I made this song, it's that internal thing that you deal with that says, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like I'm enough. I'm not enough to get this done. I'm not enough. I need more to be able to do this or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a thought process that people have when they're trying to get something done. And a lot of people feel like, well, I'm not good enough to do that, right? I'm not enough to do that. And so that's why I wrote this song. And I'm trying to see if I can find it for you guys. I think it's in here. Give me 1 second. Oh, it might be in here. Oh my gosh, where is it at? Because I have a lot of songs that I still have on the table of songs that I'm going to do or finish. This song I've done a long time ago. Yeah, here it is. All right, so if you notice, and I know you're not noticing because I'm not showing you, but I'm about to show you. So look at this. If I go to the desktop, I'm gonna do this real quick just so y'all can see it. Right, I got all this list of songs. These are songs that some of them came out, some of them didn't. But this is my pre-mixed folder, right? So these are songs that I started, and this might have been just me testing the sound on it. But right here, I got a song called Never Enough, Mix 2. That's the one I'm gonna play, okay? That's the one I'm gonna play right now. So let's play it. Let's play it and see what it's talking about. Let me get it off the cloud first. Right, and so here's what that song sounds like. Again, this is my song. It's not out, right? It's not out right now, but it is a song that means a lot to me. So I'm gonna play it so that way y'all can hear it. Matter of fact, let me get on my headphones. All right, let me get on my headphones so I can hear it too. All right, so y'all bear with me. We're gonna play this song, and that way y'all get to hear what it is, okay? All right, let's go. Here we go. This is the song, Never Enough, by yours truly, Rich Bees.
Life as you know it can change. Never perceive it as game. Never go back to the same way we was before the fame. Moving cane, drinking Heineken, walking the mall with the gang. All before I felt this pain. As I think back, my life in times in North Cat, KG apartments, hiding, go get it out back. Chasing these hood chicks and making forks with shopping carts. Saying it's love, dry humping with no touching parts or connected hearts. Oh, so simple life was to start till it becomes real. Giving a 10-year-old your heart at 7 years old. In my stomach she stole over what I'll never know. The pain was still so. Double-decker bus on the way home. Ran to my room crying on my bed alone. Pain too much to bear cause legit ain't grown. I was overseas, Petersburg before KG, VILLE. It's just another side of me. People don't say it can change. Never perceive it as game. Never go back to the same way we was before the fame. Moving cane, drinking Heineken, walking the mall with the gang. Before I felt all this pain. Life as you know it can change. Never perceive it as game. Never go back to the same way we was before the fame. Moving cane, drinking Heineken, walking the mall with the gang. Before I felt all this pain. People don't know how to let the past be the past. Remember, time is the one thing you can never get back. The present is your future, so make the most out of it now, so your future is evident. You know? Life as you know it can change. Never perceive it as game. Never go back to the same way we was before the fame. Moving cane, drinking Heineken, walking the mall with the gang. Before I felt all this pain.
Are you actually feeling that song, chat? Let me know in the comments. If you're watching this video afterwards, let me know what you think about it, right? Let me know if you like that song. Again, that song's called Never Enough. And if you like it, I might drop it as a single. If you don't like it, well, well, but again, this song's called Never Enough, right? Because sometimes I feel I'm never enough. I gave a scenario on there, which is a different type of scenario, but still it's a feeling of not being enough. You know what I'm saying? So there may be a chance that I'll go ahead and release that song. Don't know yet. We'll see. Meantime, in between time though, let's get back to what we were talking about. Okay? Let's get back to what we were talking about. So where we are now is the fact that we're at present day, right? We're at present day on the video clips and how we started figuring out and manipulating these clips to be able to get attention, if you will, on social media, right? Because Twitch, what everybody said, it doesn't do good at discovery, which I can agree with that, right? Because sometimes I may be on a stream and nobody else is watching it. However, I may take that clip and that clip is getting play. You know what I'm saying? Because of the way discovery works on the other platforms, how their algorithm plays out. The algorithm on Twitch is very basic. It's depending on how many people you have streaming, that's who's going to be at the top. As long as you have a lot of people on your live, you're going to be found higher up in the categories. Most people know that. But on these other platforms, as long as you're performing well, what happens is the algorithm starts figuring out what type of people are listening and want to hear or are perfect for the type of content that you produce, and they will figure out, well, who are the people who watch this type of video, right? And so then once it figures that out, it'll start pushing your content always to the right people. That's why you have to be consistent, right? In the type of content that you're delivering. You can't be all over the place. You got to deliver this type of content consistently, and then the algorithm will know, okay, this is the type of video that's being produced, and these are the type of people who watch that. Let me keep serving it to them, right? The type of people who watch that type of content, because they want to get you connected to advertisers, right? They want people to advertise on your videos so they can make money, right? But that also gives you the ability to monetize your content because you're being consistent, you're producing good produced content, and people want to see it. That's the method at which it works. When you do that, then you too will get into the algorithm. Your videos will go up, monetization goes up, right? Now you're winning. And as a matter of fact, I got a song called "Winning." You probably saw it in the file, right? In the file, I got a song called "Winning." That's an unreleased song too. But again, the whole thing is to be the best version of yourself, to always look at and take inventory of what you've done in the past. Is it working well? Do you feel good with it? Can you sleep well at night for what you're producing? And if you can, and it's doing well, you're winning, right? You are winning. And that's the whole point of what we're doing. The whole point of what we're doing is to win. And if you're not winning, then what are you doing? Right? Because it can be stressful. It can be very stressful. Cameron said it the best.
Hey, niggas get shot every day, B. You be alright, nigga. You tough, right?
Tough, right? You be alright. Keep making your content. Keep being the best version of yourself. And in the end, you'll win. Right? And actually, when you win, we all win. Why? Because that means that people who want to see your content get to see the type of content they're looking for. Right? So we all win. So I appreciate you coming around tonight. Hey, it's been 30 days. We're celebrating. We feel good. Busting shots. For all my people out there who keeps coming back, keeps watching my content, even if it's afterwards. You might not catch me on the live, but if you do, shout out to y'all. Make sure you hit me in the chat. Make sure you always come back and keep checking me out, because I'm gonna keep streaming, right? I'm gonna keep live streaming, and I'm doing that not only for you, not only for me, but for the culture. And we gonna all be better, do better, and get better out here in these mean streets, because it is mean out here. So make sure, tell a friend, come back, follow your man, Rich Bees. Make sure you like, subscribe, Comment down below if you're on YouTube. Hit me in the chat on my next live stream if you on Twitch. You know how we do. This is what it is. This is what it will be, and we'll be great together. Thank you for coming out. You know how we do it. We out of here. Rich Bees out.